Hello and welcome to another Whiskey Review with me, the Whiskey Novice. Thank you for joining me. This review number 228, and we're back in the US of A, man. I haven't done a bourbon in ages. Well, it's been a while. Let's just say it's been a while. And we're going to look at this one, Elijah Craig Small Batch. This ain't my first rodeo with this bottle, and I could have swore I'd reviewed it, and then it turned out that I hadn't. So I just thought, well, I'm moving through this one quite quickly, so let's review it before I run out. I do like my bourbons, I know, and I preach regularly that to me we should be a bit more promiscuous with our whiskey drinking, and let's try things from other places. Let's be different. I know it's not for everybody. I know some people are very fixed in what they like, totally understandable. But I like to dart around a bit. So we're looking at an American bourbon, Elijah Craig Small Batch. This one, as I said, this isn't the first one. 47%. It is actually non-chill filtered. There's no colour added to it. And let's just get in. Why not? Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. 78% mash bill of 78% corn, 10% rye, and 12% malted barley. That was what I meant to tell you. Yeah. Now, I don't tend to write an awful lot of tasting notes whenever it comes to bourbon, because I find an awful lot of tasting notes very, very similar in bourbon. So, you know, here we go. Resin, orange, almond. Actually, I'm going to go toasted almond even. Rich toffee and chocolate, actually dark chocolate, and it reminded me a bit, and they're all a lot of these notes are a bit whimsical, shall we say. Ricin chocolate, that the dark chocolate toffee sort of nut sweets you get. It is slightly nutty, and it's also, as we would expect, there are those hints of acetone, acid drops, and soft caramel. You know, an awful lot of these notes just show up in nearly every bourbon I review. Why would you watch my reviews on bourbon then? I don't know, that's entirely up to you, but I'm going to get into the palate. Here we go. Sweet, sour. Very bourbon-esque. It's got all those caramel notes. It coats quite well. There are hints of citrus there. Yep. This is a sort of, don't know whether I like using the term, miracle bourbon. So explain myself. What do I mean a miracle bourbon? Right. And for me, it's always been my experience, this channel. I'm afraid I can't explain to you what you thought of it, but here we go. Looks like a bourbon, tastes like a bourbon, feels like a bourbon. It's got all of those beautiful soft caramel notes. The things that I explained in the nose all come back into play in the palate. It is slightly sharp. It is nice and creamy and round, actually. All of the creamy caramels and vanillas and oaky, slightly oaky on the palate. Not that terribly hot getting into the back of the palate. And this is where I said the word miracle a minute ago. This is where, to me, it's just weirdly miraculous. Here's what I'm going to say to you. If there's such thing as generally when I hear the term, I want a smooth whiskey, I shudder a bit, because I know what that person's asking for. They're asking for a whiskey that doesn't burn on the way down. Well, I generally tell them, it's ethanol. It is its want to burn on the way down. It's in its nature to burn on the way down. Live with it. Give it a name. What is that burn? Is it chili? Is it pepper? Is it cinnamon? Is it Clove, is it, you know, so there are many different names you can give that heat. It generally has a name. It's generally sometimes it's just heat. This doesn't burn on the way down. I found a smooth whiskey. This is weird. It's, don't get me wrong, I like it, but it's big, and there's so much going on through the nose, through the palate, that you think, oh, this is going to be hot. There's something, this is actually going to be hot. And it doesn't disappear. All the flavor's still left on your tongue. But it's like you didn't swallow anything. There's no heat. It's bizarre. Yeah, orange. Just loads of orange at the back of the palate. No heat on the way down. It's just fantastic. It is bizarre. I liked Elijah Craig anyway. I went through my first bottle at a sort of rate of knots, and I don't remember much about it. There's a good chance actually this is my third bottle of it, because I think maybe the second bottle disappeared pretty quickly as well. It seems to go down incredibly well. I was going to say something there and I can't remember what it was, but it's yes, that's what I was going to tell you. They're right. There's was it the C batch Elijah Craig barrel proof that I only ever tried a sample of it from a couple of years ago, maybe a few years ago now, but it was mind blowing. Oh man, I remember, I think it was the one that the Scotch Test Dummies described as the barrel of wow, or bottle of wow. It was just outstanding, and as I say, I only ever tried it as a sample, but I still remember it. I still love the thought of it, I love the memory of it. I paid £28, I think it was, for this bottle. Now I got it on offer. Generally, it's around 35 to 40, maybe even 35 to 45 pounds. It's bottled at 47%. It's non-chill filter. There's no colour added to it. It's still a good price. That is a bloody good price, and it's a bloody good whiskey. You know, bourbon, whatever you want to. Slightly sharper, drop of water, slightly sharper, slightly brighter, more orange, slightly more oak. Certainly doesn't take anything away from it. Yes, and all of those notes also ramp up a bit in the palate, slightly sharper notes. But there's still no burn. I don't get it. I genuinely do not get how this does not burn on the way down. It feels, because there is a lovely prickly, clovey, sort of cinnamony heat on the palate itself, on the tongue. So it feels like as if this should burn. Now, I'm not saying that I said it a minute ago before I added the water, it doesn't disappear. You know you've drank something, you know you've drank a fairly high strength spirit, but why does it not burn on the way down? I don't understand, I don't get it. Love it, it's magical. There you go, move on. Yeah, it's smooth as butter. I sort of went off on a weird. It's just I cannot get my head around how this works, but I love it. I know that much. Will I replace it? Yeah, I will. There's no doubt about it. I will replace it. It's a bloody good bourbon. I've said in the past it's a bloody good bourbon, and I stick by it. So what then would I recommend as an alternative? Another one of my old favourites, and this bottle hasn't really dipped. 1792. I drag the 1792 out weirdly. I don't know why, because it's still relatively easy got. It's still affordable. It's 40. This one here, 46 point. The small batch 46.89 or something like that. There, ABV, very close, fairly similar. So that would be my recommendation, basically. So they're sort of, you know, we see less bourbons on the UK shelves than I would like. But Elijah Craig has made it to our supermarket shelves here now, and I'm so glad to see that. And if they keep the price the way they're at the minute, I'd be delighted. The 1792, although it has a UK duty stamp on it here, I can see it's certainly not on our supermarket shelves. But for a long time, 1792 has been one of my favourite bourbons. But there are loads of others out there. To me, feel around. We're actually, I keep hearing it quite a bit. So yeah, my recommendation, if you like Elijah Craig small batch, 1792 small batch, I've heard it quite a bit. Hear it quite a bit. That simple, what we would consider simple bourbons, like Buffalo Trace and Eagle Rare and things like that, getting much harder to get in the US. Certain states of the US, we're picking them up on our supermarket shelves for £20, £30. So it's incredible. So listen, yes, I'm going to leave that one there and just say, look, Elijah Craig small batch, a miraculous bourbon. I would definitely pick it up again. I recommend if you're into your bourbon at all, and or even if you're just feeling around in bourbon, pick up all of this up. I very much recommend it. Leave that there. Say thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much to my patrons. Should anybody wish to join that group, the details are in the video description below. I'll be back next time with something different. Until then, look after yourselves. Here's to your good health. Cheers.
Hey, thanks for watching my video. Please click and subscribe to be notified of further content.